What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you saw in that intro, the parabolic trend is, well, I was going to say back, but it hasn't left. We are continuing to find exponential higher lows on this macro uptrend. And people are starting to talk about it now. James Nguyen, the guy that had the $1 billion long position on Bitcoin, he even shared my chart today without giving me credit. But regardless, people are starting to see the parabola take shape. And we've been talking about this for a long time. I mean, if you go back in my YouTube history, this was like 2 years ago. But now that we're sitting near the all-time high, this age-old analysis that we've been doing for years on this channel is really relevant. And so we're going to discuss it. Before we get into the analysis, I want to mention that I am currently one of the traders on BloFin's copy trading platform. I was able to secure the first place spot on their leaderboard with a top ROI over the past 30 days. Well, in this case, over the past, less than a week. If you're interested, use that link below to sign up, and then you can copy me on BloFin and you'll earn 10% cash back on all your trading fees if you use the link below. And also, I want to make a disclaimer that I am using leverage. It is high risk. There have been large drawdowns along the way. And if any of you guys commit too much money to the copy trade, I'm actually going to remove you from it, because then the volume gets too high for me to trade low cap altcoins, because that's what I've been doing. Yesterday on the copy trade, I caught the AXLR pump for 3,300% gains, and Home today I caught for 1,600% gains. The Home trade, right? This is a new coin. This type of a gain was possible because BloFin listed this before Coinbase. This got listed on Coinbase today. And because BloFin is the fastest at listing new coins, faster than every other exchange, you get the opportunity to trade these coins before they hit Binance, Bybit, Coinbase. And so you can catch some really good opportunities. Be sure to sign up with that link below. And if you want to copy me, go ahead. It is high risk. There's no guarantee of returns. You could lose all your money, so be careful. Now, switching over to Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin weekly chart. Bitcoin now sitting right next to its all-time high. If we go to the daily chart, you can see Bitcoin over the past few days has retested the 100K level and gave a significant rally off that level. Now, there is something about this move that we saw. That new all-time high at 112K, followed by the pullback to 100K and the bounce. This was actually the first retest ever for Bitcoin where it actually held 100,000 as a new support. And you look left, we have not seen Bitcoin actually bounce off of 100,000. We ran through it, and that was the first retest and bounce. So Bitcoin actually made history on June 5th, and a lot of people didn't realize it at the time. And it's not just that, right? If you look at the weekly chart, and then you pull up the weekly line chart, you'll notice that the past weekly close, the past 2 weekly closes that we had, were closes that were above our previous high. Now, going back to the candlestick chart, Bitcoin obviously is maintaining this exponential trend, this parabolic trend. And this is something that we've discussed for years on this channel. Now, if you take a look at the parabolic trend, zooming out, and we overlay the textbook diagram, things become really clear. I mean, it fits like a glove. If you just look, here we are, currently exiting base 4. And the next step is a vertical push to a much higher price level. It's not exactly clear what that price is going to be. According to the textbook, from base 3, the price doubles, and that would be roughly, depends on where you take it from, right? You could take it from the lowest wick low, or the highest wick high, or the middle. And if you take it from the middle of base 3, it's about 124,000. Although I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin hit something else like 142,000. That is my, sort of maximum target and ideal target for this cycle. I know most people are going to say that it's not bullish enough, but I'm not aiming to be the most bullish person. I'm aiming to be accurate. And so I think it's important to stay a little bit conservative about our estimates instead of buying into the hype, saying high numbers, and sort of just misleading everyone. I don't want to do that. One of the reasons I'm saying 142,000 is this is a calculation that I did using AI just to help me assist me in sort of determining what the price range for the cycle target could be. And this is why I'm saying 142,000. Anywhere from 124 to 142,000 is my target range of the parabolic trend. This calculation is basically mapping out cycle low to cycle high, and then cycle high to cycle high, because we're looking for the peak of the cycle. So what we see is in this 2011 to 2014 cycle low to cycle high, it was a 60,000% gain. In the next cycle low to cycle high was 10,000. In the next one, it was 2,000, right? Rounding the numbers. And 6,000 divided by 6 is 10. 10,000 divided by 5 is 2. 2,000 divided by 4 is 500, right? So this is actually the reducing ratio that just so happened to be the progression of these percentage moves. Is 95,000. That's the lowest price we could have gone to this cycle that would have been within the average. The highest we could go, according to this calculation, is 190,000. So 190,000 is within the realm of possibility, though it is unlikely. Just as it was unlikely that we would only go to 95,000. And the median ideal target is 142,500. That is sort of where you can expect Bitcoin's price to top out in this cycle. And if you take a look at this diagram, the textbook diagram, and you overlay it on the Bitcoin weekly chart, and you sort of just try to get it there as best as you can, try to position it and align it as best as you can, it is actually pointing us right up to about 140 some thousand. So if it follows this, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. And this prediction, or this calculation that I made, you can see this is an old chart. This was right after the ETF approval, and it's been a long time since then. So this is not like a new idea that I have. This was done a long time ago. And it's just so interesting to see how right now we are actually setting up to test right around that price according to this sort of diagram. And so at this moment, the way that I see it, if the S&P 500 can break out into new all-time highs and continue through the all-time high, that would likely allow Bitcoin to run to at least 124,000 and maybe as high as 142,000. So that is how I see this playing out, right? I mean, for a couple of years now, we've been analyzing this parabola, trying to figure out, where each base was coming in and where the next target was and all that. We're on the home stretch here, right? And this might actually run all the way up towards maybe even October. If you're familiar with my halving cycle profit model, it shows that 80 weeks after each halving is usually where the top comes in and where the bear market begins. You can use this on, Ethereum or Bitcoin, whatever. Each cycle, 80 weeks after the halving, is when the bear market kicks in. It's not necessarily the exact top, but the bear market certainly kicks in 80 weeks after the halving, which for this cycle lands you at end of October, beginning of November. And you can see with the current Bitcoin chart and the textbook Parabolic Trend diagram and the halving cycle profit model, they all point to something like October or November of this year. So everything is playing out as it should. Now, what would stop Bitcoin from doing something like that? Well, it would be if the S&P 500 plays out, some sort of major pullback before that. Bitcoin is very correlated to the stock market, despite having days or weeks where it decouples for like a slight period and everyone gets excited. It always snaps back into correlation. It always, sort of is being guided by the S&P. As long as we're running up, we should be good to go. And the halving cycle profit model is a time target model showing that 80 weeks after the halving, that's where the top comes in. And so no matter what the price is when we're at that 80-week post-halving mark in October, I don't really care anymore about what the price is. If the M2 global liquidity offset has shown a peak, that's it, right? Your price target wasn't reached, too bad, you gotta sell, right? Time is running out. The 4-year cycle is intact. Just like I showed you, same thing as the last cycle, you run up, you go into the 40th week, you pull back, you run to the end of the cycle. This cycle, you run up, pull back, run up into the end of the cycle, basically based on the US elections. There's nothing wrong with the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin. For altcoins, that may be a different story, but for Bitcoin, it's going along just like all the other cycles right now. There's no difference in my opinion. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like, subscribe to this channel. And if you're interested, I am doing copy trading on BloFin. Once again, use that link below to sign up and you can copy me and you'll get 10% cash back on all your trading fees by using that link below. And also don't commit too much money to copy trade. Again, I don't want to have, all these funds to trade. It just gets too complicated when you're trading low cap cryptos, right? Low cap coins that provide these thousands of percent gains. You can't get in these positions with a super large amount of capital right? I mean, you're basically just going to hurt yourself if you put too much money on copy trade. It's going to get messy. So just, stay relaxed. Don't go too crazy. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.